why we started this first a year ago. We started an informal network in Zug. It was called the Zug Ladies Network. There was no particular mission or vision. I mean, it was really a couple of Johnson & Johnson ladies at the beginning, and then it expanded to other companies. And then after a couple of months, we were 70 members on Xing and LinkedIn. And we listened to these ladies, and we understood, okay, there is a need here in the region.
12 years ago in Paris, the European Professional Women's Network was founded. And that's why we are here today.
The European Professional Women's Network Zug Zurich was started as an informal network almost a year ago, and only for 5 months it attracted more than 70 members, registering on Xing and LinkedIn. After several networking lunches and aperitifs, it became clear that there is a need in Switzerland for a local professional platform for international women who have specific profile. Most of these women have relocated several times in the past years and worked for international companies around the world. These women have a global thinking and need to connect with other likewise thinking women. They also need the support and sometimes guidance of other professional women on their way of successfully managing their personal development and career. Based on the experience of the European Professional Women's Network founded in 1996 in Paris and currently with more than 3,000 members around the world and 20 city networks, EPWN Zug Zurich was founded in May this year, thanks to the current president Muriel Bekto, a strategic marketing manager at Johnson & Johnson Medical Devices for Europe, Middle East and Africa, and a team of 10 board members, most of whom work in Zug and Zurich, speak 13 languages and have international business experience. On the 10th of July, the network celebrated its launch with its first event, attracting more than 100 professional women, young entrepreneurs and businessmen interested in career development and professional growth.
And what we determined is the total return of shareholders, return on equity, return on investment, having women in those senior level positions and having women at the board ranges from 35 to 66%. So our argument is, with those numbers, it constitutes strategic delinquency not to advance talented women into positions of leadership. And I don't hear anyone, if you look at women's business contribution and the talent and the ambition of that labor pool, I would argue that there is absolutely no justification to prevent women from advancing. So the fact of the matter is, when you look at corporate pyramids, you see the usual bulge around middle management, and then those numbers peter out. Now, so business performance motivation, key area of research. Second key area of research is metrics. How do we measure this? And there are two numbers that I would love you to remember because I think they're pivotal in terms of building the argumentation. Any demographic group that is represented under 20% is subject to stereotypes. Any demographic group. And the problem is that we are judging people based on physically apparent differences.
Well, you have to ask yourself, well, what is my career aspiration? And it could be any of these or someplace in between. So I give you three, but there's many ways to talk about it. What I do think is important, though, is clarity is a good thing, because one of the things that I found in working many years at one company that has many diverse experiences is sometimes we wait for the company or the organization to tell us what's available to us. And actually what's really, really important is to have in our own minds what we're very interested in. And that may be a very short-term idea, I'd like that job, or it might be a longer-term idea is, I'm not quite sure, but this is an area that I like.
I'm glad I found the right place. You know, they left me off in the cab down below, and it was a car dealership, and I thought, wow, okay. I know that my German isn't so good, but then I came in and I started listening to Tabby, and I also listened to Vivian, and I thought, no, but I'm really in the right place, because the European Professional Women's Network really can address a lot of the questions and concerns and issues that we have in terms of our professional development here in all of Europe, but also globally. And Mary Jo really wanted me to emphasize the global part of this because we have a lot of alumna here, also from the European Professional Women's Network, that work in the Middle East, the Far East, in Hong Kong, in Dubai, and they want to stay connected with us through the network and through the virtual platform. One of the most important ways we engage with corporate sponsors on the federation level is through mentoring. A number of our corporate sponsors have taken our mentoring model and implemented it within their own companies. Another aspect of European Professional Women's Network are our publications. And we also collaborate with our corporate sponsors on publishing data, on collecting research, but then also participating in our local networks in the media. And every Thursday, as a member of the Federation Board and President's Council, we get clippings from Paris. Amsterdam hasn't done this yet. Maybe we should. I'll go back and tell Rika that we need to start clipping out the Financial Dagblad. But that's a Dutch language newspaper where we're often published. Either our speakers or our program or our members wind up in the press. But then we also have working committees. We have study groups. If you want to know more about that, like I did about the Arabian Sea, I really wanted to know more about the Arabian Sea, then you write a book about it, and we can publish it from the network.